Hello, this is Sam Simon, the playwright and author, and the man living the life of Dementia Man, an existential journey. You see, I do live with early stage Alzheimer's. On this Thanksgiving Day 2023, I am moved to remember what it means to be thankful. I suspect I'm not alone as a person now with early stage Alzheimer's, wondering about the whole Thanksgiving thing. It occurred to me that the typical approach to this day is to feel, reflect thankfulness for the good things in our lives, and that it isn't enough. Indeed, maybe wasn't even the right or correct response to Thanksgiving. I started thinking about what it is, what I do in gratitude, that in fact, thankfulness should be demonstrated in action. So I started scanning the internet. And there it was. The argument that gratitude is a verb. I found a neat clip of a radio show recorded last year and a great statement by someone named Melody Dominguez. It's on Northern Public Radio. This is what Melody had to say. And I quote, according to the Oxford Dictionary, gratitude is defined as the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and return kindness. In other words, gratitude is beyond a sentiment. It is an action, a verb in progress. When I think of the word gratitude, she said, Thanksgiving Day quickly comes to mind. This celebration brings joy, fellowship, gratitude, and acknowledgement of the good deeds done in our favor in every home in America. It could not fulfill its purpose without the action giving the verb in progress. The American writer William Arthur Ward wrote, quote, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. So today, in light of my own condition, I want to give the gift of gratitude to some of the people who make or have made my life possible and have made important contributions, particularly now, to my life's journey with this disease. So here are the 2023 winners of Sam's Gratitude Shout Out. It's going to become an annual tradition, shouting out gratitude. We all should do it. So here are the people I'm going to mention today. Susan Simon, my wife. Rosalind Carter, the First Lady of the United States, who just passed away. Ralph Nader, and Rabbi Laszlo Berkowitz, of blessed memory. Of course, there are many, many others. I think I'm going to make this a tradition, as I said. So all you great people out there who have made a big difference in my life, hold on, your turn will come. So Susan Merrill Kalman, that's her maiden name. My wife now of 57 years. She is my partner as I move through this uncertain period of my own life. It isn't very easy, of course. I had the opportunity to be her, quote, now I'm quoting the phrase, love partner, care partner, back when she went through advanced breast cancer. In those years, no one, that is, no medical person, thought she would survive. Oddly, that opportunity brought us, Susan and me, closer together than I could ever imagine possible. It taught me what love really means. My act of gratitude is to try my best to live every day, returning as I speak, act, and live that love that she showed me. I fail sometimes, and don't we all? And I exceed the norm sometimes, really. So today I will act to exceed the norm, cook the turkey, carve it, and even maybe help with the dishes, although I don't know if I can go quite that far. On a wildly different note now, I want to shout out today my gratitude to Rosalind Carter for her many years of work in the building and infrastructure to support caregivers in America. The late First Lady created the Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregiving in Atlanta. It's now part of Georgia Southwestern State University. And perhaps even in her passing, the world can now see better her work that is so essential to many of us. I've become to believe that over a long career, hers was very long, sometimes it is just one or two things we do in life that make the rest of it pay off, so to speak. What have you done? What are the two things that you have done, or few things that may last for years and years after we're gone? It's hard to know. Though I think the growing modern consensus today is that caregivers, especially family caregivers, are essential to the smooth transition of generations. And Rosalind Carter's work has helped not only put a spotlight on that, but to build up that role, to define it, and to get resources available to support the millions of caregivers out there. And we're in a time, in an era, where there are going to be even greater need for caregivers, family caregivers, and professional caregivers. You see, the boomer generation, technically I'm a year before the boomer generation. I was born in 1945. But the boomer generation, which is the largest generation in the history of America, is going through an end of life. And that generation has defined each era of their lives that they pass through because of the size. They too will need more and more caregivers, and enormous resources. I think the work that Rosalind Carter did is going to make all that better. I also note that I did have the chance to meet the First Lady when she was in the White House and I was at an event. So another big shift, Ralph Nader. I want to shout out my gratitude to Ralph Nader, who will turn 89 this February. He just published another book. Google Ralph Nader and buy his newest book. He was my first real boss. He hired me right out of law school in 1970 and continues to be an important part of my professional and personal life. We've been friends since 1970. I like to say to young people today that you should be careful where you get your first job, because that first job and your first boss might determine the rest of your professional and maybe even life career. You see, it isn't just the work that I did, the opportunity I was gifted. It was more than 50 years of a continued relationship that continues today with Ralph Nader, and mutual support and engagement. The confidence that Ralph showed in me is someone in my life who supported and lifted me up, and he's made it possible for me to be here today and doing this work in this moment. Indeed, my gift to him, I hope, was a brand new book just published last week called Choosing the Public Interest, Essays from Those of Us Who Started in 1970, and reflecting on what it took us to do that, why we went into the public interest, all we did for Ralph, but more importantly, our message to the new generation of young people to get into the public interest world, devote your career to making the world a better place. And then finally, this year, I want to again shout out my deep, deep appreciation to the late Rabbi Laszlo Berkowitz of blessed memory. He's a man whose life is emblematic of the message of gratitude being an action. He was the founding rabbi of Temple Road of Shalom, near where I live and where my family have been members for 50 years. We joined in 1973. He and I became best friends, and I was gifted the opportunity to travel with him when he returned to Germany and the camps where he had been held prisoner during the Holocaust of the 40s. He is a survivor. He was a survivor. And that gift to me enabled me to see his life and share the moments that shaped my faith and value system. He taught me that the best response to evil is to create good. I'm going to repeat that. The best response to evil is to create good. No anger, no retribution. I stood next to him, a man who on May 2nd, 1945, lay outside at a prison of war camp, cold May in northeastern Germany, next to a fire. He didn't think he was going to wake up. He was rescued by the 87th Airborne Division of the United States. He stood up. I was with him in Germany and spoke to a group of high school students. And standing there, he told them that he saw a beautiful future for the German people and Germans because of his experience with them, and how grateful he was that they were part of a new generation building peace among the people and in the world. Told them that what happened in Auschwitz and Treblinka and the other camps weren't their fault. So I think I need to write a book now. All these people and so many more in my life who have contributed so much to me and enabled me to see the world as I do. I need to write about them and what they did. So thank you all. And to next year, may this Thanksgiving, you act thankful and give an act of generosity and gratitude to people who are important in your life.